What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Third Eye Cyphs. You know what? I don't think I'm gonna get a theme song. This is my theme song, guys. I am the theme song, okay? Now, actually, I might. Maybe eventually. Maybe season 3. Maybe by next year I'll have a theme song. How are you guys doing? It's time. It's time. I need sound effects. Okay, you know what? I need sound effects because, like, I'm gonna do one that's like, it's time for your weekly checkup, or like something, I don't know, something weird. So yes, it is time for your weekly checkup. How are you guys doing? How are you doing? Are you drinking water? I'm actually uploading a video on YouTube right now. I hope it uploads while I'm recording this because I'm kind of doing two things at once on this laptop, which is not a very good idea, but you know what? I'm a risk taker, so I'm a just go for it. So yeah, I am uploading a video on YouTube right now. It's my second vlog video, and it's me going to the desert for my birthday with my friends. So it's pretty funny. And it's kind of like based around, well, it's not based around water, but like it's kind of a very important thing in this situation. So are you guys drinking enough water? If you're going to the desert, are you bringing enough water? Yes, are you eating? Are you being happy? Are you meditating? Meditating should be on the list. I'm not meditating. I mean, like, it should be on the list though. I'm not saying like, oh, I'm not doing it, so you guys shouldn't do it. No, you guys should do it. I should do it too. I don't do it because, well, that's just my own problem. Like, I need to, okay? And yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do it to inspire you guys. Should I? I mean, it just takes up so much time. Okay, it doesn't take up so much time. Do you hear me right now? I'm the worst influence. No, okay. Well, okay, a lot of people have free time right now. I actually have free time, but like I'm also working at home too at the same time, and I have like so many hours in the day, or so much hours in the day, so many. I always get confused with that much and many. So many hours in the day, so much hours in the day. I think it's so many hours in the day. But yeah, I think I just need to wake up earlier, honestly. Like, I have a set time to work because I kind of just work all day because my job is like to just edit videos and then upload them online. So I'm literally editing videos and uploading them online all day, and it takes up my whole day. So I don't have like, the only time I have to do in between is like cooking and like showering and stuff like that, or like playing with Haku. I don't know. But yeah, I just, you just gotta fit into your schedule. It's kind of like, I heard somebody say, it's kind of like brushing your teeth. Put it in your schedule as if you were brushing your teeth. And that's kind of how my sadhana was when I was like on my usual schedule. I mean, I don't have a usual schedule, but my old schedule, I guess you can say, when I was working at the restaurant and I had my apartment and I just started working at the yoga studio. I kind of had a set schedule that I woke up at certain times every day, and I was also going to yoga at another studio nearby. So I was waking up early, going to yoga, coming back home, then showering, then doing sadhana. And it was kind of like a routine that I fit everything in. I fit meditation in, I fit chanting in, I fit studying in. I did like about a half hour of studying. And then I also cooked at the same time. I listened to a lecture. Like, I fit all of this in, like, by waking up early. And now I've just have not been waking up early, mainly because I've been going to sleep late. Like, I usually went to sleep early, so I guess that's why I could wake up earlier during that time. But now I've just been going to sleep late because, I don't know, my schedule kind of shifted, like, downward. Like moved over a few hours, I guess you could say. But anyways, you should fit meditation into your schedule like brushing your teeth. That's kind of how my sadhana was, my chanting kind of session, I guess you could say. It was just something automatic. As soon as I woke up, I would go straight into chanting, mainly because like my floor altar was like right by my bed. So as soon as I woke up, I just like sat in front of my altar. But that was also kind of like a hindrance for me too, because I would also half asleep. So I would fall asleep while I was chanting. Like, I'd be chanting out loud and falling asleep. I'd be like, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. And then like I noticed I'd stop talking because I fell asleep, and then I'm like, oh shit, I'm not talking. And then I just like go right back to chanting. So it lasted longer than it needed to. So I kind of like switched it around where I would go to yoga first and then like shower and then go into sadhana. But anyways, fit it into your schedule like that, guys. It's a really good idea. I think you guys should make schedules. I should make schedules. It's a big thing. Like, you know what? I'm gonna make a schedule, and then I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna make a schedule starting. Okay, well, starting Monday. I'm gonna start a schedule Monday, and then I'll tell you how it is by next week. Okay? Today is what is today? Today's Thursday, and this episode will be released on Friday, and I will start the Monday after this is released, and then I will let you know how it is next Friday. So yes, are you meditating? Are you eating? Are you drinking? You don't even have to meditate. Are you just checking in with yourself? Are you having some time for yourself? Are you reading? Are you doing some strategic stuff like math problems, like I mentioned in my last episode? Are you going outside? I haven't been outside in 2 days, guys. Okay, so yesterday I was telling Justin, my boyfriend, I was just like, I just felt weird, and then he said, I think he said like, go outside or like get some fresh air. And I was like, oh yeah, I haven't been outside in 2 days. And he was like, are you serious? And it's literally just because I've been editing the desert video. I've been editing videos for work. Like, I've literally just been on my computer like for 2 days straight, just editing videos, literally. So yes, it is hot right now. I'm sorry, I'm like flushed. So yeah, just all that good stuff. You can even look up self-care checklist, self-up routine. Make that checklist, guys. Get out your checklist. Make that checklist. Have you been checking stuff off? This is so good. It's so good for you guys. But anyways, I hope you guys are doing well. My birthday was pretty cool. I again went to the desert with my friends. It was so cool. They like shot guns and stuff like that. I didn't shoot guns. Like, okay, the whole thing like with the desert was to go shoot guns with like these people who have guns and shoot them every year or something out there. And then like I could have shot a gun, but like I don't want to. Like, I mean, I know I'm not doing anything by doing it, and like at least I could say like, oh, I shot a gun before. I think I shot a BB gun. I don't know if I've shot like I don't know if that was a regular gun or not. I think it was a BB gun, but I don't like guns in general. Like, I don't want to partake in that. Like, I know it's like not like you're not doing anything, you're just shooting at targets, but just the whole idea of guns, I don't know. I feel like guns are a weak man's weapon. And like now people be like, that's a crazy statement because like that's like probably like one of the strongest weapons, like to kill people. But like it kills people. Like the intent of its creation was to kill. Like, why would I want to involve myself in that? I don't know. It's not my thing. Even if I'm not like doing anything with it, I'm not interested. I don't care. I'm not gonna bash it and be like, man, you guys are stupid for doing this. Like, ugh. Like, I'm not gonna judge you. Like, what the heck? I don't really care that much. I personally will not partake because I feel like I don't want to do that. Like, that's it. I don't care if you do it. But anyways, it was cool. We ran out of water. We were supposed to stay there till Sunday. So we got there Friday night, and we were supposed to stay there till Sunday. And we ended up leaving Saturday evening just because we ran out of water. Like, we forgot a 6-pack of, like, gallons of water. So there was, like, 6 gallons of water in that pack, and we forgot it. So we only had, like, and I had bought 2 extra ones. We only bought those 2 extra ones, and then maybe, like, 2 other ones that they brought. They only had, like, 4 gallons of water. And we went through it so fast because it was so hot out there and it was so dry. It was the freaking desert. But, so yeah, we left early. And that was it. But that was okay. Like, I didn't mind leaving early. I was literally just dying in heat. I was half asleep the whole entire day of Saturday because we went to sleep late on Friday. And, like, I don't go to sleep early, but, like, I go to sleep earlier than what time I went to sleep on Friday. So I was just super tired. And then it was also my birthday, so like I partied and I was just tired from partying. And then we woke up super early because we didn't have like I guess the other people woke up early, so we also woke up early, and it was like 7:30 in the morning. And we went to sleep at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't know. That was it. That's not enough sleep for me, guys. I was half dead. I took like a giant nap in the middle of the evening while they were like shooting guns. And then they like exploded something. You'll see it in the beginning of my video. I didn't get that video. That was actually a video credit to my friend. I don't even know who got that. I think Eliseo got that video. But they like blew up something while I was sleeping, and it woke me up. Like, I felt it and I was like, whoa. And then like I heard it, but I had like headphones, like not headphones in, but like earplugs in when you shoot, while I was sleeping, and I still like heard it and felt it. It was crazy. But But yeah, I napped, I don't know, maybe for like 2 hours. I'm not too sure. Maybe it was shorter than that. But I was just so dead the whole time. I slept on the way back. I actually edited. Okay, so wait, I'm sorry. This video that I mentioned last week, that I was gonna do 22 facts about me for my birthday. I edited that entire video like right before we left to the desert. Like on my birthday, I was editing this video. On the way back from the trip, I was editing the video. Even when we got back, I was still wasn't done. I was almost done and I finished editing the video. Once I tried exporting the video, I forgot. Okay, so I was doing this on my travel laptop. Usually I do all my editing on like my home laptop because that's like the programs I'm used to. It has all my files. Like I already know it. My travel laptop I only use for writing on the go and work, like Wi-Fi stuff. I don't download anything on it. I don't do anything with it. I just use internet stuff purely. And it comes with a video editing program on it, but I forgot that my video camera records in a certain type of file that my home computer already knows how to kind of deal with, which my new computer does not. So I edited the whole entire video, and then I couldn't export it because it couldn't identify any of the files, even though it let me edit the video. Like it didn't let me export it because of the file, the type of file, and I couldn't convert it because I had already edited the video. It was just too much, and I was like, I'm not gonna re-edit this whole entire video, even though it didn't take that long. Okay, so I didn't like the ending. I was just like, you know what? I didn't like one of the things, like one of the facts about me. One of them was like, oh, I don't care about anything, and like, but like I explained myself. Don't worry, it's not like I was just like, oh, I don't care about anything. But I just didn't like the way it sounded, and I was like, you know what? I'm not even gonna post this. I don't want to sound like this. But what it was that it was like, fact about me, I don't care about things as much as people think I do. And it's true because like okay, I care about things to a certain degree, and like I am a very caring person, I guess. But like when it comes to stuff that like doesn't really matter, well, nothing really matters. But like if it doesn't pertain to me, if it doesn't affect like the world or like millions of people, or like if it's harmful, like, you know, very excessive stuff, you know, or like just anything that has to do with my life, I guess you can say, that's the stuff, like that stuff I care about. But like if it doesn't have to do anything with that, and you're just like, if you're standing in front of me, like I'll care for a certain amount. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, like to engage in conversation. But if you keep going and telling me about like things I don't care about, like politics, okay, yeah, that's a world thing, I guess you can say. Like, but I just personally don't care about politics, so like don't talk to me about politics. Or like I don't know, like I don't even know, just certain things I'm just like why? Because this is the thing, right? Like I find people, like, because I'm very friendly and I'm very social and like charismatic and I love talking to people, I love people, and like people see that, like people love to engage with me because of that. Like they see the energy that I have in conversations and like in interactions in general. But like if we're gonna stand there, if you're gonna talk to me and stand there and like just go on and on about like some random ass stuff, or like just I don't know, like I just like to a certain point I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, and then but if you keep going, I'm just gonna be standing there and be like, why is this person still talking to me about this? Like, can they not see I don't care? Like, but I don't blatantly show that I don't care, but maybe a little. Like if you're very like, if you can tell, like if you can read people through their face, you could probably tell. But if you can't really read people through your face, you probably can't tell that I don't care, because I kind of play it good, but not really. But anyways, that was the thing, and I didn't like the way it sounded, so I was just like, you know what, I'm not even gonna post this video, I'm not even gonna re-edit it, like, that's too much time, because then, at that point, I also had the desert video, so I would have had to finish the birthday video, finish the desert video, and then still be ready by today, pretty much, to have this video ready, like, to post those videos before I can record this episode to post this video, so it was just too much. I was just like, you know what? Forget it. I already have the desert video, which is a lot of footage. I just finished editing this morning the desert video, which I started editing 2 days ago? 2 days ago, which isn't too bad. I guess because I took breaks in between. It was over an hour of video footage, but it took maybe, I don't know how long. Probably like, definitely over 5 hours of editing. Probably because I just like replay over and over again. I'm very like meticulous when it comes to stuff like that. But anyway, sorry, I'm like ranting about like my whole video editing situation. I'm sorry. That's just been like taking up my life recently. So anyways, I'm sorry. 15 minutes. I hope you guys are doing good. I hope you guys are drinking water. I hope you guys got your checklist and checking off stuff. Hope you're healthy. Yeah, so today we will be talking about ego and how to diminish it over time. Now, this is something, okay, this is kind of going to be off of my notes that I have in my phone. So this is something that happened, right? I was thinking, I think I was just thinking. Like I was just sitting there and I was just thinking. And then I was like, ways to diminish the ego over time started coming to me, and I was like, oh yeah, and then like you could do this and you could do that, and I was like, wait, I should be writing these down so I could tell my listeners how to diminish their ego over time. So I just started jotting like bullet points and notes down. So I haven't read them since I wrote them. This was over 2 months ago probably that I wrote these notes. But they are very good stuff. I might not understand really like what I wrote, but I'll kind of just go from there. I know I was definitely on to something, guys, when I was writing to this. I was like, oh my god, this is so good. This is gonna be a great episode. So yes, that is today's episode, and of course I pulled cards for you guys because I did pull 2 cards. I had to. You know the deal, guys. I had to. So yeah, let's jump right into it. So, for your first card, I pulled blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. That was like my sound effect. Blah, blah, blah. For your first card, I pulled the victory card, which you guys received plenty of times before. I think this is your 3rd time receiving the victory card. I'm not sure if you've got it in reverse before, but you got it in reverse this time. It is upside down. So from the previous times that you have gotten the victory card, this victory card is like, great rewards are coming to you, you're paying, you're receiving what you've been working for, but just don't let it get to your head. That was mainly this card upright. But in reverse, what this is saying is that there might be a delay or a reverse in an outcome that you've been hoping for. So maybe you've been aiming for a certain kind of outcome or situation, and maybe it did happen, but now it's kind of reversing. Like now it's kind of getting taken back, or there might be a delay in receiving those achievements that you've been working for. So this could be personal or external. It could be personal growth, things that you've been working for in on the inside. Like maybe you've been working on your ego, but maybe you find your ego coming back into your life. That could kind of be a reversal. Or external situations, work, promotions. Maybe you were working toward a promotion. Maybe you got it, but then they took back the promotion. I don't know. Something like that. But whatever it is, there might be a delay towards that or kind of a reversal in it. But what this card is saying is do not worry. Don't worry, guys. All you have to do in this situation, and this is kind of just in any situation that doesn't seem to be going your way, basically. It's time to restructure, to reevaluate. This reminds me of something I heard Alicia Keys say. I feel like I've said this to you guys before. How she kept, she would always say that, if something's not working, let it go. And she found herself just like on this one thing. She kept trying to go towards it, keep going towards it. And her boyfriend was like, weren't you the one who said when things aren't working out, like, let it go? And she's like, oh my God, you're completely right. And she let it go, and then like, blah, she reached enlightenment. But yeah, basically that's the situation. We need to restructure. We need to reevaluate the situation. Kind of take a different path. If the path that you're taking, if what you're doing isn't working and you're consistently trying and trying, you're trying your best and your hardest and it's not working, then that's obviously not what's meant to be happening, what's not meant to do. No matter what you try, it doesn't work. Like, it's not supposed to work. So we need to reevaluate and restructure. Think about a different alternative. Gain a wider perspective of the situation and different pathways and different things that you can do to achieve that goal, but differently. Also, release the hoped for result. I've also mentioned this before. Manifesting may not happen, not specifically manifesting, but like this situation as well, but also manifesting. If you have a certain perceived outcome. Okay, no. I'm sorry. I got this confused. minus manifesting. I'll get back to that right after I say this. So anyways, this my I'm sorry, I'm reading off of the card notes that I had wrote. Release your hoped for result, right? Because that might not be the exact result that is meant to happen. So if you have this certain perception and idea of exactly how it's going to turn out, it may not be ending up towards there because it's not supposed to end up towards there. So release what kind of idea you already have that it's going to be, and it will come to you. Not that specifically, because it's probably not that specifically, but you guys know what I mean. Once you release the identity that you think it has, then its true form will come. That was a good one. But what I was saying with the manifesting thing, it was kind of like I kind of got like, it sounds similar, but it's like not. So when you manifest, I've said this before, don't have an exact idea of how you're going to manifest it. Know what you want to manifest, but don't have an exact idea of how you're going to manifest it, because then you're limiting yourself to other opportunities that can help bring you to that result. So it's basically the same thing, but not the same thing, that I couldn't say it both at the same time. But it's kind of like the same thing. Once you release a certain idea of something, more opportunities of that same kind of route will bring you there, will present themselves, I guess you can say. So, also the main thing is to surrender. Surrender. That is my favorite. I need to get that tattooed on me or something, because surrender is such a big thing in my life, in spirituality, in life in general, in faith. It's just surrendering to the flow, surrendering to Tao. So if you're trying super hard for this goal, keep going, nothing's working, blah, blah, blah. Surrender. Let the divine take you down the path, because no matter what, the river's flowing, guys. The river is flowing. And if you keep trying to swim upstream, obviously you're not going to get there, right? But once you surrender and let go, then you can flow down the stream, guys. So yes, that is the victory card. You got it in reverse, but yeah, it's no big deal. It's literally just overcoming this. And maybe it is an ego thing. Maybe it is ego's coming back into your life. Maybe you've been trying super hard to get rid of ego, and it is just coming back into your life. And that's what we'll be talking about this episode. So don't worry, guys. Don't worry. Your affirmation for this card is, you may have it already if you keep these, I don't know, but write it down again just in case, guys. So your affirmation is, I am achieving great things within myself and in the world. I am achieving great things within myself and in the world. I see myself as a success in many wonderful ways, even now. I see myself as a success in many wonderful ways, even now. Okay. And your second card, I don't think you've ever gotten this card before, guys, but I love this card. I love receiving this card. I think I've maybe received it once, probably, or twice, maybe doing like a card reading for somebody else. But I love, this is such a beautiful card. It's such a wonderful sign. So of course, since I pulled the second card and I got a reverse, I was like, well, of course, what happens when they take back what's rightfully theirs, and you received the Door to Spirit card. The Door to Spirit. Now this card, I'm showing it in the camera, but it is a door open, and there is a dove. I don't know if he's flying out or flying in, but he's just basically waiting for you by the door. And I guess that is spirit. That is the Holy Spirit, the dove. And the Door to Spirit is open. It is open. Now, this card represents New beginnings and spiritual awakening. New beginnings and spiritual awakening. This is such a good sign, guys. So this is the door to spirit is opening up to you, is showing you your true eternal identity. Now, this could happen because, okay, so say you you surrender, you release, right? Then source opens the door for you, and say it's personal growth, right? You've just been working and ego's coming back. You kind of surrender to God or the universe, and Uni's like, I got you, fam. I got you. I love you. And you realize your true eternal identity, because it is your true eternal identity. This is with you. This is what happens when you die, when you're reborn, if that's even a thing. But it's your true nature. It's that soul self. It's that everlasting energy that does not die. This is the door to all true value and power, unlimited potential. It's basically showing you, like, this is the door, like, open your eyes, like, this is who you are. You are now becoming that person. This is a new beginning, a spiritual awakening. You are awake. You are seeing your true identity. You could be getting an increase in powers in, what is it? Cities. Is it? I think so. Cities? I think it is cities. Spiritual powers, guys. Maybe you're becoming more intuitive. Maybe you're just feeling more kind of things. Maybe you're becoming more of an empath. Maybe you've been having visions. Maybe you've been having crazy dreams, getting messages, having synchronicities. Signs are everywhere, opportunities, all of this. Maybe all of this is happening to you, or an increase is happening. But this is all going to happen. Maybe it's happening now for some of you, but it's also going to happen once you learn to flow, once you stop resisting what is meant to happen. You could also be strengthening your healing practices if you practice Reiki, or just anything, like, I guess energetically, I would say Reiki, or maybe you're a doctor, who knows, and you're like, oh, I'm becoming a better doctor for some reason. I don't know, who knows? Maybe that's a thing. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Maybe that's a thing, like, to be like, okay, so say you're a doctor, right, and you're super spiritual, or like super spiritual, whatever that means. And then, like, you're doing all this, like, inner work. You're not even studying, like, medical stuff, right? You're doing all this inner work, and then suddenly you're just, like, a dope doctor. Like, you're just, like, performing, like, 3 surgeries at the same time. You're just, oh, like, I'm the best. And then I'm like, look at that. And it's all because you worked on yourself, right? You worked on yourself, guys. But I don't think that's a thing. I'm not saying that that's a thing. I'm just saying, imagine if it was a thing. So, anyways, what this card is saying, open up to the unexpected. What? You can't perceive God. You don't know how God comes. You can't be like, oh, this is God. Well, like, I do that all the time because everything is God, really. But open up to the unexpected. Like, just surrender. Surrender is the biggest thing. Like, be free, be open-minded, have a wider perspective, a wider view, and just let everything flow. Stop resisting. Stop resisting, guys. Stop resisting. Your affirmation for this card is, I relax and connect with my spirit's wisdom and power. I relax and connect with my spirit's wisdom and power. I live in the peace that my spirit brings. I live in the peace that my spirit brings, and know that the world of spirit supports me. And know that the world of spirit supports me. It's so funny because as I was writing down this affirmation so I could, like, read it back to you guys, I, like, already knew what it was gonna say. Like, as I was writing it, I was, like, already, like, in my head, like, thinking what it was gonna say. I don't know, it was weird. But as soon as I saw, like, I live in the world, I live in the peace that my spirit brings, and know that the world, as soon as I wrote and know that the world, I was like, supports me. And then I was like, of spirit supports me. I was like, wow, because the world does support you. The world of spirit supports you. It supports you through anything. Like, even if you want to do bad stuff, like, it's gonna support you by doing bad stuff because it's gonna teach you a lesson, and it's probably your destiny. It was already engraved in your birthright or whatever. So it's gonna support you either way. Not like, oh, go at it. Like, it's not that kind of support, you know what I mean? But it's still gonna allow it to happen, basically. Unless it's not meant to flow, you know? But anyways, that was your cards for the week, guys. I hope this kind of has something to do with you. I couldn't think of the word. It was like, has something to do with you. Relates to you. I hope it relates to you. And I hope you can kind of get some stuff out of that. So with that being said, let's get into getting rid of your ego, guys. Now, these are, again, notes that I read on my phone. Well, found in my phone. Wrote in my phone. So, okay. Is there anything I like to say? Usually I do this before the card reading. I don't think so. Yeah, that's it. Okay. We're just getting right into it because we're already, I spent 15 minutes blabbing about my video editing situation. I'm sorry, guys. Maybe you fast forwarded that. Who knows? But yes, okay, so diminishing the ego over time for beginners. This is for beginners, guys. This is just kind of like basic steps, I guess you could say, to kind of... Time to pray. No, I'm joking. I have the singing bowl here next to me because the last time I spent like 3 seconds grabbing it, and I don't want to do that. Oh my gosh, I just dropped my phone. This is ridiculous. Do you see me right now, guys? The universe is with me. I'm telling you. Once I started this, I looked at the time and it was 2:22, and I was just like, ah, I'm in tune. Sorry. Okay. Anyways, sorry, I'm flushed. It's hot. You know, I'm getting overwhelmed. This is kind of like last week. I was super excited. It was my birthday. Now I'm just hot and flushed and overwhelmed because God is with me. Okay, so diminishing the ego over time for beginners. This is simple steps, I guess, to diminish the ego. So the first thing I wrote was to identify the difference between true self versus ego. Where does ego come from? Okay, so identify the difference between true self and ego. Where does ego come from? True self. Okay, well, I guess we'll start by identifying the difference between true self and ego. So, ego, I talk about ego a lot, guys, if you guys don't know. Ego is fear, anger, jealousy, resentment, envy, sadness, grief. Did I say anger? Pride, greediness, selfishness. Yeah, you get the gist. It's things that are kind of very self-absorbed, or, you know, hatred. Hatred's ego, maybe. Yeah, I think so. Just anything that doesn't come... Okay, so basically, we can identify what ego is by identifying what true self is. That's what it is. So, true self is... And, you know, I'm so quick to want to say true self is love, is light, is compassion. And I feel like, I'm not sure, I personally feel like true self is nothingness. Like, it just is. There is no compassion and love. There is no hatred and anger. I feel like it's just spirit. It just is true self. But I guess it can be like, you know, it's light. It's literally light. And you know what? I think it is love. It is love. And you know what? You know why I'm going to say that? And I'm not going to say that because, you know, everybody else is saying that. Because true self is light. Our soul is light. Our spirit is light. And what I mean, not by light like, oh, it's beautiful, it's light. No, it's like literally light, okay? It's vibration. And what is light? Light is vibration. So, since we are light, right? Light is vibration. Vibration, well, depending on the vibration too. It depends on the frequency. Okay, so true self is light, so it's at the higher frequency, right? You know what? When I started talking about this, I was comparing it to snowflakes, because snow is love. Snow is love. I don't care what anybody says. Snow is love, and if snow is love, then then we're love. Or like light is love because snow is light. I don't know, something like that. I don't know. I lost myself with that. Anyways, okay, so I don't know. I don't want to really say that true self is love and light, because I feel like love, like what we perceive love to be, and compassion, that's very human characteristics. And true self goes way beyond the human nature. Ways go beyond. Wow, am I dyslexic? Oh my gosh. No, it's literally like when I'm talking too much and too fast. And I noticed this, oh my gosh, I noticed this in my last episode. I had so many grammatical, I listened to last week's episode last night, and I pointed out, and I only listened to like, did I listen to the whole thing? I think I listened to only like a half hour of it, and I pointed out already 3 grammatical errors that I had, and it was horrible. Like, did I really say that? And I'm a writer. Like, okay, I would never write like that, guys. If you hear me say something, they're like, did she really just say that? Like, trust me, it's just because I'm talking fast and I'm in my thoughts that they're coming out like jumbled, and I don't like. I'm a pretty educated person. Okay, guys. Where was I? What was I saying? Wow. Oh wait, let me look at the thing again. Okay. So, oh yeah, so anyways, I feel like true self is our soul being, is our spiritual essence, right? And that goes way beyond this physical dimension, goes way beyond the 3D. And I feel like when we say like, oh, it is love, it is light, it is compassion, like it is all that, like those are all human characteristics. Those are only things that we can perceive in the 3D. I can't personally describe my true self as that, because it is way beyond that. And that's what I think, that's it. Our true self is God. Our God, I said our God. Well, God, like it's nobody's God. It's just God. Is incomprehensible, is ununderstandable. Inunderstandable? Is that even a word? Not understandable in space and time. Our true self isn't comprehensible in space and time. We're unable to perceive it. We can only try to describe it, but we can't really say what it is. So I guess everything, you know what? Everything in this physical dimension, I can say is ego, because you can never fully diminish your ego. You can never really rid yourself of ego. You can just try to control it or take power of it. You know what I mean? You can become its partner. You're not going to step over it. You work with it, I guess you can say. So yes, I'm realizing that we're already 37 minutes in and we're only on number 1. It's okay guys, because I only got 4 things listed here and then like some extra stuff. So I guess true self is the incomprehensible, is God, is Tao. And ego is everything on this physical dimension, is everything that we feel, everything that we go through. It's physical attachments. It's our things that attach to us over time, on our personality, on our energy. I very much feel like is ego. Now, in parentheses, I wrote, where does ego come from? Well, ego comes from the human nature. It comes from human nature. It's like the Tao says, I think I've quoted this before, accept misfortune willingly. And it's like, what do you mean by accept misfortune willingly? Accept misfortune as the human condition. How can there be misfortune? Misfortune comes with having a body. How can there be misfortune if there is no body? So misfortune only happens in the physical dimension, right? So it's kind of, it's similar. It's kind of the same exact thing as like that. Ego comes with the body. All of this comes with having the human experience. So I feel like that's where ego comes from, is having this human experience. It comes with, you're automatically given ego. Like when you're born into earth, okay, you're egoless. Like you are egoless. You are pure being, but you are human. Now, I think you develop ego probably, I don't know. This is all I gotta tell you later, because I don't know about like child development and stuff like that. I guess once they start gaining a personality, or when they start actually absorbing like biased knowledge. I guess you can say that's what ego, because I feel like babies, like they absorb, like they already have certain knowledges when they're born. Like they know they're hungry, and then by the time, like once they get hungry, every time they get hungry and they get fed a certain thing, or like they're fed at a certain time, like they already kind of know. Now it's not biased, they just know that they're gonna eat and stuff like that. So that's already like knowledge. But I feel like when judgment and you know, kind of like doing good things or doing bad things, or like I don't like this or I don't like that, I feel like that's when ego comes in. So yes, that was number one. Okay, so number two. So number one is identifying what ego is first, because how can we diminish something that we don't really know what it is, right? So number two is know you control your thoughts / mind. Just acknowledge. No action yet. So number two is just to accept the fact that you are in control of your thoughts and mind. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to control them or anything. Just know. Just know. Now that's number two. Now don't take any action until this is engraved in your mind, okay? Don't go past number two until this is literally like tattooed on your forehead or like in your brain, okay? You are in control of your mind and your thoughts. This person talking, me talking to you, like this is my physical body talking, right? Like that's when my voice comes out, like my brain. So basically I think of a thought, and then like my brain kind of like sends the signals to like my mouth or whatever the hell, and then like I talk what I'm thinking, right? But where was I going with that? I was about to get super existential with that. But anyways, that you are beyond that. You are beyond the brain. So your essence, the person who's actually thinking, like doing the thinking, right? The I, who is the I perceiving the I, right? That's like the number, that's a cool ego. I'll give you guys, if we have time at the end, I'll give you guys some cool ego exercises. But just know that you're spiritual essence, like you are spiritual essence, right? You are light, you are vibration, right? You are beyond the brain, the physical, right? You are beyond the physical. So you are just controlling this physical vessel, right? You are not this physical vessel. You are not your body. You are not your brain. You are not your mind. You are not any of this. You are the essence just kind of dorming here temporarily. So but you have control of all of it. You have control to move your body. You have control to think thoughts, to talk, to have certain opinions. You have control of all of that, especially your mind. So just know that you control your thoughts. You control your mind. This goes with, I was just telling my mom the other day. I think I was talking to her yesterday about, you know, she suffers from anxiety. Hi, mommy, if you're listening to this. But she suffers from anxiety, and she was talking about how she wasn't sure how, I don't know why, I'm sorry. I burp so much while I'm talking for a long time. Is that a thing? Like, I noticed that, okay, I've been noticing that recently, like, when I'm doing podcast episodes, that, like, I tend to, like, I don't burp all day. Like, that's not a thing. But, like, while I'm talking a lot, like, I, like, burp a lot. It's really weird. I think that's just from talking a lot. That's never happened to me before. It's only started happening to me recently as I do podcast episodes. So anyways, sorry, that was so weird. That was, like, a personal thing. Yeah, so she suffers from anxiety, and she was saying that she doesn't know how she would do on the plane ride to come see me from New York, because her last plane ride that she went to go visit our cousin from Florida, she had an anxiety attack the whole time, and it was a 3-hour flight. Like, the flight here is 5 hours, so she doesn't know how she'll do. But I was just trying to, you know, reaffirm her that she is in control of her mind. She's in control of her thoughts. Anxiety comes with the body. Anxiety comes with the mind. Anxiety is all in the mind. You have control of anxiety. It's just people lose their control. People relinquish their control to their mind. And this is why, this is the whole podcast. This is me literally, like, I want you to master your thoughts. This is mastering your thoughts, mastering your mind, mastering the physical. This is how you move beyond the physical, and you become, what do you say, an alchemist, a magi, right? You're moving past, you're controlling this. You're not letting this physical dimension, this physical vessel control you. You are in control of it, because that's how it's really meant to be. You are here to be in control. And that's why, like, we're literally here to be in control of our lives, not to be controlled by our lives. I'll talk about that later. I really, like, we don't have, like, I like to keep it under an hour. So don't like going past an hour because nobody likes listening to stuff over an hour. Well, I don't. I mean, maybe you do. Who knows? But also, like, the video converting for me, it does not do good. Like, the files, it just doesn't do too good past an hour. So I like to keep it like, well, I like to keep it within an hour. So anyways, just know that you control your thoughts. Know that you are in control. That this physical dimension is nothing. Take back your power. Take control of your mind. Take control of your mind. What is a great way of doing this? Meditation. Meditation is literally the best exercise to control your thoughts. Why? Because when you sit in meditation, you're sitting down and then all these thoughts are flooding you, right? And what meditation is sitting in the silence that is not the thoughts, is to relinquish the thoughts, to let them go until you reach that space of nothingness, that zen-like state, right? So that's one of the best exercises to control the thoughts, control the mind. Meditation, number one, definitely. This is, I think I mentioned a tip about this further in the notes because I just reminded myself of something I wrote about it. I guess I'll go back to it later. So once you get past this, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna say it now because it works better now. I'm sorry for whatever noise you're about to hear because I have this window open, and again, I live super close to my neighbors and they do really weird stuff, especially when I'm recording the podcast. So a tip to do to kind of get control of your thoughts, I wrote, have a word when it arises and then let it pass. So this is an exercise that I learned from Pema Chodron. I don't know if I'm saying her name right, but she's basically a Buddhist monk and teacher and writer who studied under Drongpa Chopra or something like that. I don't know these names. I know them, but I don't like know them. I just know like who they are and like, you know, their bases. Who is basically a Buddhist teacher. I don't know if it's a Zen master. I don't think it's Zen Buddhism. But it might be. I don't think so though. But anyways, it was a book that I read while I was staying with my teacher, and she basically said in the book, this was an exercise for, I think it was a meditation exercise. She would say, I don't know. I'm just going to tell you the exercise and then like you could piece the I don't remember. Okay, I don't remember the book. But the book was called When Things Fall Apart. And it's kind of like a book on how to get through hard times. And I was reading this book while I was staying with my teacher because I was going through a hard time. You know, I wasn't working. I was losing my apartment. The coronavirus was happening. Like, it was just so much. I couldn't see my boyfriend. I couldn't leave the house. I really couldn't do anything. I kind of like felt hopeless, and I felt like this was a really hard time. And I found this book in her library that was like When Things Fall Apart, getting through hard times, or great advice for getting through hard times. And it really helped. I didn't read the whole book. I only read like half of it, like the first half. And but it was really good. It helped me to the point where I stopped reading it halfway. That I kind of like moved on for. I kind of got like the gist, and I was just like, this is nothing. So anyways, this was an exercise that I read from her. I don't know how exactly it went, but basically when you're meditating and a thought arises, label it as a word, like thinking or thought. So say you're sitting in meditation, right? And it's quiet. And then a thought arises like, oh, I'm hungry. Once that thought arises, say thinking, and then just let it pass. Don't think about it. Don't think about like, oh, I'm hungry. What am I going to eat? Oh, maybe I'll eat this. Oh, well, I remember when I was hungry last week. And like, don't do any of that. Once you realize a thought has arisen, I am hungry, label it thinking. Once you do that, just let it pass, thinking, and then sit in silence again. Then once another thought arises, thinking, let it pass. And it'll come to the point where like just more thoughts just won't come. And it was kind of an exercise that she did. I don't know if that's exactly how it went in hers. That's how I wrote it in here, like have a word, Pema Chodron, thinking. But I think maybe she had a different word, or maybe that was the word and I had a different word in my head. I don't know. I remember something like that. But anyways, that's a really good way to it's kind of like a very easy, basic way to start meditating. And then once you do that, and you can kind of move past the whole labeling thing, and you can just kind of realize that it was a thought, and then let it pass. You don't have to label it. Just be like, oh, okay, a thought came, let it go. A thought came, let it go. So yes, that is meditation basically. Number 3, acknowledge that ego has no power. Now, this is simple, guys. Now, referring back to number 2, once you establish number 2, that you are in control of your thoughts, in control of your mind. Number 3, acknowledge ego has no power. Ego comes with having a physical body, with being in this physical dimension, with having a human experience. So, since you are in control of your thoughts and in control of your mind, you have control of your ego, right? So ego has no power. Ego has no power. So once you see ego arise in your life, know that you are in control of that. You are completely in control of that. And it has no power unless you give it power. If you see it in your life and it's coming back into your life, or it's strong in your life, that is you letting it be in your life. And you have the ability to take power back and not let ego control your life. So ego has no power, and acknowledge that. Acknowledge that, because you are in control of your thoughts and mind and anything that has to do with your physical essence, okay? Well, not everything, because you can't, like, control, well, maybe you can, but that's, like, super, like, okay, so I was thinking, like, well, you can't control, like, how many times your heart beats, like, at a certain amount of time. And I was like thinking, well, maybe if you're like super powerful, well, not super powerful, but you know, you really know how to control your energy and stuff like that. I think it's definitely possible. Mainly because I've seen people have healed themselves just through thought, like, alone. Like, I've seen cancer healed like that. I've seen cancer healed through Reiki. I've seen a tumor healed through Reiki and intent. Literally, I've seen it. Like, there's a video on you. I don't know. I've seen it. It's on YouTube probably, because I don't know where else I would see it from. But there's a video. I think maybe it was a spirit science video, but it was an actual video. And then they were showing, like, the tumor, and then they were doing time lapse of it, like, disappearing. And then you see, like, all these, and it was like in a doctor's room. Like, they had the EKG going on and everything. And then, like, they're like healing, and then the person who's being healed, who has a tumor, like, is already imagining themselves without tumor, like, or that it's being healed, or like just doesn't have a tumor, imagining themselves in a healthy state pretty much. And then the Reiki healers doing, like, their work, and they probably did different sessions, like multiple sessions, who knows. I don't know, but I've seen it happen. It is a thing. So yeah. Number four. When ego arises, recognize it as such and disassociate with it. / don't take action, just watch it and remain unfazed. When ego arises, recognize it as such and disassociate with it. Don't take action, just watch it and remain unfazed. Okay, so if ego arises in your life, like, this is stuff I wrote, guys. This is not stuff I'm reading online. Like, this is stuff I wrote, and I wrote it a while ago, so I'm, like, trying to remember what I was talking about. So when ego arises, recognize that it's ego, and don't associate with yourself with it. Just recognize that it's ego. Separate yourself from that. So, okay, for example, say your ego's like, ew, that girl's dress is ugly. Okay, this is such a girly, like, example, but, like, it's an example, okay, guys? Ew, that girl's dress is ugly. Then your true self is like, what? Everything is beautiful, everything is God, be quiet. And then ego is like, no, that dress is ugly. But your true self, who you are, you recognize it as ego. You're like, oh, that's ego calling that girl's dress ugly. I am not the ego. I don't personally feel like that girl's dress is ugly. Now, okay, you may feel like that girl's dress is ugly, but you really don't. Like, your ego feels like that. Your ego is the one who thinks things are ugly, who thinks things are pretty, who judges things, who defines things, who labels things. Your true self just sees that dress and is like, oh, that girl is wearing a dress. That's it. Like, it may not even do that and just might be like, oh, and just look at it. Like, it's not even gonna, like, worry about it, like, identify. But your ego's like, oh, that girl's dress is ugly. Like, my dress is prettier. Or, like, I've seen a better dress, or I've seen that dress better on somebody else. Like, it has all these comments about, like, all these, like, just look at it and be like, what are you even doing, ego? Like, relax, calm down. You're not in control here. Like, relax, sit down. And then I wrote, don't take action, just watch it and remain unfazed. Okay, so minus the get the heck out of here, ego, okay? Don't even worry about it, because, okay, true self isn't gonna be like, ew, ego, get away. True self is just gonna be like, oh, ego, and then that's it. And then disassociate with self, because true self knows it's true self. It's just gonna witness ego, and then that's it. Don't take action, just witness it. And don't identify with it. Don't take action with it. Don't do anything about it. Just realize that it's ego and then move on. It's basically the same thing as the thoughts. Notice the thought and then let it pass. Notice the thought, label it as ego, and let it pass. Don't take action. Don't keep going with it, dragging it on. No, just realize it. Be like, okay, that's ego, and then that's it. Carry on to the next action. Do the next thing. Do whatever it is. Carry on with your day. So that was number 4. Now, I wrote, this can be done on the go with friends, etc. Don't be shy or afraid to call yourself out in front of others if it helps. It may only inspire them to do the same. Don't let ego in through this way too. It's very tricky. Okay, so this is something that I do. This is something that I was like, well, I do this. So don't be afraid to call yourself out when when ego is coming forward and you're not being your true self, right? This is something like I could be like, I can't think of a certain time that I've done this, but I do this when I realize I'm doing it out loud. Like, I'm like, yeah, but I don't think that's like that, or but I don't know. I can't even think of an example right now. But I was like, but that's probably just my ego. Like, I'll just say it casually because I am in my head. Like, I'm actually thinking like, wait, that's probably like, I don't think that, like, I associate it with ego already in my head. Like, as I say something, I'm like, wait, no, that doesn't sound like true. It just sounds like something like my ego is saying or wanting. And then I'll say, yeah, but I think that's just my ego. I was like, and then I'll correct myself, like how I truly feel. And then I'll kind of go like a little deeper in or whatever. But yeah, don't be afraid to call yourself out on others. Make it part of your regular conversation. Like, and it may inspire others to do the same because they see like, oh wow, she can actually identify her ego. Like, she can see that she is not her ego. And it may, like, if you say that without actually saying it out loud, people are like, oh, she's probably egotistical, or like something like that. Like, it doesn't matter what people think of you, but it just shows how it can make a difference in the other person. So the other person's like, oh, she's egotistical. But then when you say, oh no, I think that's probably just my ego, then they're like, oh wow, she's very aware of her ego. And then they might implement it into their lives too. They might become more aware of their ego. So yeah, and then I said, don't let ego in through this way too. It's very tricky. It is very tricky because you can do that. You can be like, oh yeah, but that's probably just my ego. And then like, but that's ego in itself, like letting itself be known, like, oh, but that's the ego, like that's just who I am. That's the ego talking, right? So don't let like, oh, I'm very like aware of my ego, right? Oh, I'm very like, no, I know when my ego's around, like, blah, 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 and you're, like, kind of taking pride in that. That is ego hidden, like, within ego. Like, that's still ego. Ego is very tricky and will sneak up on you in any way possible. So, don't let ego in that way, too. That is a no-go. I wrote something before. I don't see it in here, but, I guess it wasn't this. Because then I was like, don't, maybe, like, take some time for yourself to do that. I mean, if you want to go deeper. Oh, okay. If you want to go deeper, then you can watch it arise and try to pin where it's coming from. Okay, yeah, I did write it. If you want to go deeper, then you can watch it arise and try to pin where it's coming from. Past situations, trauma, conditioning. Now, this is shadow work. I'm not going to go into shadow work this episode, guys. I am going to do a shadow work episode on how to do shadow work. Very basic shadow work stuff, because I don't know, like, every single method on how to do shadow work. Okay? I just know kind of how to do the most basic shadow work. So this in itself is shadow work. If you want to go deeper, so okay, say like that ego arises when you're with friends, right? Now this is something that you might want to do like by yourself, like kind of like pause that thought and then be like, well, I'll think about that later, because right now you're interacting. You can't really interact and then think about that stuff. You're gonna be like very like in your head. It's gonna be awkward, but you can save it for later. Like, oh, I remember when I had that thought. Like, let me kind of work through that now. That's kind of what I do. I do that a lot, actually. When something happens and I feel some type of way about something, I realize that, like, why am I reacting like this? Like, why do I feel some type of way about this? And I won't act on it at that moment, but when I'm alone and I come back home, I'm like, wait, why did I feel like, and I kind of go back through my past memories, traumas, situations that could have arisen those feelings within me. So that's the same case for this. If you feel that ego arises and you're like, oh yeah, that's probably just my ego. And why would I feel, okay, let's go back to the ugly dress. Like, why did I feel at that moment that her dress was ugly? Like, did it make me feel better about what I was wearing? Or maybe I really did like the dress. Or maybe I was just jealous. Why am I jealous? Maybe because I'm insecure. Maybe because I don't feel comfortable in my body, because I don't like the way I dress. Maybe because that dress was the same dress that my ex-girlfriend had or something like that. And it just brings up stuff that you may not realize the moment you see the dress. You're like, oh my God, that dress is ugly. But if you actually go deeper into the situation, you may actually find out why you truly feel like that dress is ugly. And it may bring up a lot of stuff that you did not know was there. And that is shadow work, is witnessing ego at certain times and certain moments like that. Like, just anything that you kind of feel these feelings that don't really feel like your true nature, that don't feel, it feels like something you need to release. Then go deep within those feelings and try to figure out where it came from. If it came from trauma, if it came from past situations, if it comes from conditioning, things you were raised with, and yeah, that's it. And it kind of goes into shadow work from there, and then I started writing a whole bunch of shadow work stuff, but I think I'm going to leave that for another episode. One, because we just hit an hour, but I'm so glad that I actually finished all of this within the hour. So those were kind of my basic tips on how to diminish the ego over time for beginners. If you guys want that shadow work video, let me know. I'll probably do it anyways, but I just want to hear you guys say, I want the shadow work video. What else? That is it. What I have to say left from that is just witness it, guys. Just witness it and don't associate yourself with it. Just kind of realize it, and that's how you diminish it over time, because you're not identifying with it anymore. You're not allowing it to be in your life and not realize it. It's in your life because you're realizing it, and it's just in your life. Like, hold on. Yeah? Yeah, give me like a few minutes. Okay, so anyways, that's basically it. Just realize it. And sorry, I told my roommates that I was doing the podcast, and like not to knock or anything. But anyways, just realize it. That is how it's taking hold in your life, because you're not realizing it. But once you realize it, then you can disassociate yourself with it, which means you have more control. You're more aware of it when it enters your life, and you can merge more away from that. So that's pretty much what I would say. That's like the basics on kind of how to diminish it. I'm not saying you're gonna get rid of it, because you're not gonna get rid of it, but there's a very good tip on starting off how to take it's primary in your life, or whatever, it's major role in your life. So that is it for this week, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I will talk to you next week. I will check out my YouTube. It is World of Natalia. I will have that desert video up. It is pretty funny. And yeah, just be a lookout on my stuff. My Instagram is Natalia of Earth, Natalia of Earth. I might change it to World of Natalia, but who knows? For now, it's Natalia of Earth. So yeah, follow my blog, thewritingsofnatalia.wordpress.com. All my links are literally on that. Like, you will find anything associated with me on the blog. You'll find my YouTube, you'll find the podcast, you'll find my ebooks, you'll find my Instagram, you'll find everything. My photography, my Facebook. Oh, I don't even go on Facebook, but I have a Facebook. But you'll find everything. So anyways, I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I will talk to you next week. I love you so much. Thank you so much for listening and supporting me always. Please continue to listen to this podcast on Spotify or whatever streaming website you're listening to. I would love if you watch the video on YouTube, but YouTube does not pay me. But my podcast streaming does, so please continue to support listening to me on all those streaming websites. I love you guys so much. Thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you next week. Peace.